Which villain actually had a good motivation? Tom from Tom and Jerry. He was really the good guy all along, keeping rodents out of his house. Dude was just trying to do his job, kept being beaten all the time. The Grin, loud ass who's. To be clear, the Grinch didn't hate Christmas, he hated people. Which is Jim Carrey, Ed Harris's character in The Rock. Ex-vet wanted a decent funeral for some of his fallen comrades, plus I think a $100 million compensation for their families. Spoiler alert. The president said no. I always thought this was one of the most powerful standoff scenes in cinematic history. General Hummel. Commander Anderson. If you have any concern for the lives of your men, you will order them to safety their weapons and place them on the deck. Agent Paxton. This is not happening. Commander Anderson. Sir, we know why you're out here. God knows, I agree with you, but like you, I swore to defend this country against all enemies, foreign, sir. And General, we've spilled the same blood in the same mud. And you know goddamn well I can't give that order. Navy SEAL, we're dead. General Hummel, your unit is covered from an elevated position, Commander. I'm not gonna ask you again. Don't do anything stupid. No one has to die here. Commander Anderson, you men following the General, you're under oath as United States Marines. Have you forgotten that? We all have shipmates we remember, some of them were shit on and pissed on by the Pentagon. But that doesn't give you the right to mutiny. General Hummel, you call it what you want. You're down there, we're up here. You walked into the wrong goddamn room, Commander. I love this movie. You've been asked by an old friend, you're being ordered by a superior officer, asterisk, asterisk, now you're being given your last chance by a man with a gun. Put the phone down. Mr. Freeze, guy just wanted to save his wife. He does the crimes for funding, right? Surely Bruce Wayne, man with so much money he probably sweats it, can throw a few G's at the guy to stop the crime. One of the Batman comics I read ended up showing Freeze was actually an obsessed, delusional stalker that wasn't even married to Nora. The machines in the Matrix, the Second Renaissance, showed that it was humans who struck first and tried to destroy the sentient machines once they became intelligent. The machines removed themselves from society and created their own city 1 to 0 in the middle of the desert to try to allay human fears, but it still didn't work. Humans were the aggressors, the machines wanted to protect themselves, and the machines are not even evil. Instead of just exterminating humans or chopping off their heads and using their bodies as batteries, they took the trouble to create a massive virtual world for us. They even tried making it a paradise at first, but we rejected it, so they went more realistic. I think the first machine city was O1. It's pronounced Zion exploding head. The hyenas from The Lion King. Hunger is a powerful motivator. Wow, never thought this through before. I always stopped at Scar is the villain with the motives and the hyenas are just the henchmen. The parallel with the Nazism is even more striking now. It's just a hungry mob who did what they thought was the best way to escape their miserable condition. The older you get, the more you understand that Scar was basically an aging emo fuck-up with the illusions of grandeur, and not the master planner you thought he was as a kid. Like, when you were a kid, you did think that he was brains to Mufasa and Simba's brawn. Maybe not a great guy, but still an impressive player. And then you age into watching that image just become Scar's narcissistic delusion. Mostly, he whinged about not having a reign just handed to him on a silver platter, and he never once made plans regarding what he would do with the crown once he had it. He just wanted things he had neither the claim or acumen for having. Into his middle age, when he did manage to take the throne, he was a shitty ruler. He alienated his competent subjects by treating him like slaves and tried to cultivate an alliance with idiots who were never going to be fully loyal to him by giving them free rein to sack his land. Even when challenged, he almost took out his rival's brat. but spiked at him, got himself killed because he needed to brag about it. Scar was a freaking screw-up who got lucky a few times and spent most of his life making sad, self-indulgent speeches to mice before he ate them. Monsieur Prince Zuko, before he sided with Team Avatar. All he truly wanted was to go home, have the respect of his nation, and the love of his father. Having recently rewatched the series, I would argue he never was a villain in the show. Yes, he was an antagonist to the heroes, but he was much more of a secondary protagonist. We are privy to his journey from the start. General Admiral Zhao fills the role of villain in Season 1, Azula in Season 2, and Ozai in Season 3, when he finally moves into the spotlight. Dr. Doofenshmirtz, his parents didn't even show up to his birth. He just wanted to be a good dad to Vanessa because his parents were never good to High Monsieur Magni, having been a Holocaust survivor. It makes a lot of sense to not want to see the people you identify with once again persecuted for the circumstances of their birth. Plus, he was right, that's exactly what happened, and he proved it out time and time again. Can't agree with all of his methods, but he was 100% correct that it was mutants versus humans, and always would be until one group is gone. True, I think one of his problems was not realizing the depth of humanity within mutants. Even if normal humans were eliminated, all human characteristics and emotional traits would still exist in mutants. Greed, envy, jealousy, compassion, cultural differences, conflicting ideologies. Eliminating humans wouldn't automatically unite all mutants under a banner of brotherhood. Feels like a good place to drop this quote. The best villains don't have evil intentions, only evil methods. Edit, for everyone saying Palpatine, kindly peruse, our Empire did nothing wrong. Not always true. For example, the joke, pure evil, no redeeming qualities at all. Joker is a better example. I was thinking Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. Some great villains are also the opposite, evil intentions where they use legal methods and the good intentions of others to enact their evil. Mr. Specifically BTAS Freeze, but yeah, he's one of the best answers for this question. Think of it, Batman. To never again walk on a summer's day with the hot wind in your face and a warm hand to hold. Oh, yeah, I'd kill for that. Dr. Doomsday, he has literally, like without a shadow of a doubt, seen every single outcome of every single decision he has or will ever make. And the only way humanity survives is if he rules them and takes them on a certain path. Yet the fucking Fantastic Four keep on beating his ass down. His rule isn't even that bad, even in the context of a great leap forward. The FF just don't like him because he's just a power-hungry single leader, and being that and ruling the Earth has historically been bad. But you know what all those other populist leaders didn't have? Literal demonstrable clairvoyance and super intelligence. Didn't he kind of fulfill that though with the latest Secret Wars event? Luke Castellan from Percy Jackson. His motivation was that the gods didn't pay enough attention to their kids and wanted the gods and Camp Half-Blood to recognize the children of the minor gods. I would agree with this one, but he goes further than recognition when he wants to completely eradicate all the gods and demigods that don't come to his side by freeing the Titans. In the first book I'd agree, but with the latter ones, not so. Even he realized he went too far when it was way too late. TBF, it's been a hot minute since I've read the series, so I might be glossing over some. Wasn't he being manipulated by Kronos to the point where K was feeding off of his energy, taking over? Been a long while since I read the books, but it makes sense that a quick-thinking child of the impulsive trickster Hermes would be blindsided by the immortal, slow yet steady deity of time itself. Sandman from Spider-Man 3. He just wanted a chance to see his dying daughter before she died. The only reason he robbed places was to get enough money to find treatment for her. He accidentally killed Uncle Ben, and felt really bad about it. to the point where it haunted her, monsieur. The real villain was the American healthcare system, monsieur. Squidward, I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward, 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 you're Squid, he's Squidward, I'm Squidward. Are there any more Squidwards I should know about? Roy Bath, he just wanted to extend his life beyond a mandatory termination date. Terrell was the real villain. Also, the principal from Ferris Bueller. Bueller was doing exactly what he suspected he was doing and is kind of an arrogant prick the entire time. TBF, the principal went and broke into his house. That was crossing a line. Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, she wanted to save her life, she didn't want to hurt anyone. Ozymandias from Watchmen. Needless to say, his methods were atrocious, but in the end his goal was basically world peace. Nothing ever ends, Adrian. For me, the absolute most important line of the series. The end justifies the means. But what if there never is an end? All we have is means. Ursula, Ice Kid. Actually, I would even argue in Betty's favor. She lost the love of her life to a power she didn't understand and tried to do everything in her power to get to him back. Megama. He became bad because people told him he could only be bad just because of his background. SMH, my head. We live in a society